Morning campers, coffee time. Yeah, so are the UFOs, UAPs, UAVs, drones, government drones, secret space program, Galactic Federation, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's look at what we know. First thing we definitely know is the government lies about everything. That's a given, right? They've been lying about everything since before you were born. Before I was born, which is a fucking long time ago now. So we know that. We know that's a fact. What else do we know as a fact? Well, I personally know as a fact that the plasma balls are, well, they're real. I've been seeing them my whole life. I've documented lots of them, and I've talked multiple times about the time when I was taught to telepathically communicate with a star, and then this ship appeared in front of me that was a huge triangle, not like the one in the X-Files, the reverse-engineered UAV thing that you've seen, triangular thing, TR2B I think it's called. Not like that at all. It was like a big triangle like this with rounded edges, and it was like burnt orange colour, and it was covered in black hieroglyphics. Now, ever since that moment, which was about 2 years ago, I've been really chilled out about the outcome of this time that we're in. So since COVID, you know, we're 4.5 years in or whatever we are, and it is, to me, it is the Great Awakening. So what's the effect of these plasma beings, or these things that evade fighter planes and evade detection on radar and etc., and get chased by helicopters and they can't catch them? What is the, you know, what if there are drones in there as well to muddy the waters because the people in control or whoever are putting those in there to muddy the waters, to make it like confusing for everybody, because that's really what it's about. So if you look at it from that point of view, that it is confusing, I think from a spiritual point of view, what it's actually doing is, again, like everything, giving us a choice between really a choice to live in the present moment. Because whichever way you look at it, even if you have got a rifle and you start shooting at these things, which I don't recommend, it's kind of out of your control. It's out of our control, okay? So it's something so vastly out of our control. What's the best thing you can do? Well, live in the present moment. You've only ever had the present moment. The future hasn't happened yet. The past is gone. It's time to let it all go. Let go of the past, let go of the future, and just see what you can do today that is advancing humanity in some way. And even if it is Project Bluebeam, which is, if you haven't heard of that, go and look it up, which is highly possible. You know, a fake alien invasion has been on the cards. I've been reading about it for 20 odd years. It's a distinct possibility. They have incredibly advanced holographic technology. We know that. We know that from the fake aeroplanes on 9/11. So, you know, these things are possible. But again, it's out of your control. So you have to make a decision on a personal level about this situation. And the situation, you know, my son saw one the other day. It came to his window, disappeared, and then came back again. And that's the feeling I've always had with the ships that I've seen. I call them ships, but, you know, flying things that you can't identify as anything mechanical that we currently own in our known technology. Ships for short. And I've been able to call them in at parties. It's been a bit of a party piece of mine over the last few years. When I toured America, they followed us around all the time. And I've always had a very strong connection to them and a strong feeling of benevolence. And that's my personal experience. Might not be yours, but that's what I feel. And even if they weren't, I just think, well, what the fuck can you do about it anyway? You know, so there's no point worrying about it because it is what it is. Is there a point in preparing? Well, you know, I've been hanging around preppers for years, and I've been prepping for years myself, only as a kind of diligent kind of, you know, thing to do that makes sense just in case. But, you know, there was a storm in Ireland a couple of weeks ago, and I realised I'd run out of candles, and my generator petrol or diesel was out of date or something, and you know, I wasn't actually prepped at all, but it was fine. It was fine, and it is fine because, but mind you, I have to say I am an apocalyptimist, so it might not be fine. But maybe it will be fine or not fine, depending upon who you are and what you're here to experience, because that is kind of what all of this has been about. And it's always a choice between fear and love. And I choose love over fear every single time, because fear, apart from being louche for the fourth dimensional entities that I've written about extensively, doesn't get you anywhere, does it? We don't want to feed those fuckers. They've had enough from the human race over the years. So choose love and be nice to people today and every day, and try to enjoy Christmas, whatever that means to you, because even though, you know, I know all about the true background behind Christmas, it is still a time for family and loved ones, and focus on those things. That's what I'm doing. What you do is up to you, but being scared is not the way forward. Watching, you know, Joe Biden and Kamala being called to the White House at 4 a.m. because I couldn't sleep, that's interesting, but it's only interesting because it's part of the movie, because we are watching a movie, and this time is called The Great Awakening. Okay, it's not the itsy bitsy awakening, it's the Great Awakening. So I do fully expect something massive to happen, especially as we only have like 30 days before President Trump is inaugurated, which is also part of the movie. You know, I'm not under any illusions about that. And it doesn't matter whether you think, oh, it's real, it's good, it's bad. It's all a spiritual journey. And we are spiritual beings. We're eternal spiritual beings. Don't forget that. That's the thing they don't want you to know, because if you did realise that, you wouldn't have a fear of death. And without the fear of death, you're extremely difficult to control, which is what you should be. Because getting rid of this control structure, this prison planet that we've been living under, which is my perception. I know there'll be people saying, no, it's just your perception. It's not. I'm completely free. Well, you know, good for you. But some of us have to have feet in both worlds, because some of us have children here and some of us have different circumstances. And it is different for all of us. But ultimately, we are all fractals of God. And God's in charge of the whole thing. And it is, whichever way you look at it, it's exciting, isn't it? Isn't it exciting? So whatever you're doing, have a wonderful day, and God bless you.